Oh my gosh, guys. I was looking at, oh my gosh, oh, I almost forgot. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so I was wanting to show y'all this video that was 15 years ago. Yes. Why does his breast stink? Yeah, so this video was 15 years ago. And it's a video of, okay, yeah, so these were technically 2 and 3 of my turtle babies. Hold on. Okay, so my first turtle baby, his name was Curtis, and he was like the width of my 2 fingers. That's how wide he was. He was so tiny. He was a little tiny baby, and but yeah, he died. And then, so these 2 turtles were Gary's mama's turtles, and then when his daddy died, his mama moved to Florida with his sister, and then I got them 2 turtles. And so these 2 turtles were already like 4 years old in 2010. And then I got them January or maybe it was closer to February, end of January, because his daddy died on January the 18th, 2010. And so his mama immediately moved to Florida. And so when she moved, I got these 2 turtles. And I named, let me see, I think the one right there on top, Belladonna, she was the biggest. And then Cytherea was the other one. So I had Bella and Cy first. Well, okay, so I got Curtis, and then he died. And then when Gary's daddy died, I got Bella and Cy. And then me and Gary, we went to Florida. We went to Daytona, and on the way back from Daytona, we went to PetSmart, and then so Curtis, Belladonna, and Cytherea, all 3 of them were regular sliders. And then Katie Morgan, she was a yellow belly, but that's what they call it, a yellow belly. And so what it was is they just had the red stripes on the side of their head, and Katie had yellow, but she was considered a yellow belly slider instead of a red ear slider, even though the only difference that I seen was one had red stripe and Katie had yellow. And then after Katie, my friend, she bought a turtle, and then she moved back where she was born. She moved back. I don't really want to say what state, but the state that looked like a boot. So she moved to the state that looked like a boot. And before she moved, she gave me her little turtle. And I named that turtle Eva Angelise. So I had technically 5 turtles, but 4 at the same time. So Curtis, he died, and then when I got Bella and Cy, like this tank that you see, like you can't see the whole thing, but it was 150-gallon tank. I think that's what it was. It like from here, and then like this is the one wall, because like the TV's right here, so this is one wall, and then it went all the way across to the other side of my living room. Like, that's how big it was. And so it was a pretty big tank. And I spent $90 on that fish tank. I got it from me and Gary. We got it when he had his Saturn View. I think that's what it was. It was the white car after his Element. But we literally put that in the back seat, and then I had some. I think it might even be in this. No, it's not on this wall. It's the other wall, so you can't see it. But I had some desk chairs that were real, and I got them from Bryant Lane home, because when I bought them, like, I was like a rather big girl, and I mean, I still am. Never been thin, never been skinny, but at that time I was like in the high threes. Or nope, you know what? Because I got these. Yeah, so I was already on my weight loss journey. I still probably was in the threes, because I never got out of the 300. Like, when I started, I was 384, and then I did the 6-month diet, and on that diet I got down to 320, and then I had to stop taking my water pill, and on the day of surgery I was 340. When I left the hospital after the surgery, I was 360. And then it was like a week later, I was like at 330, because most of that was fluid, and because I wasn't taking my water pill. And like, I later found after I had gastric bypass that I'm not, like, my weight is not the cause of my pseudotumor cerebri. My pseudotumor cerebri, what was the reason I retained fluid? So instead of my weight was the reason, no, it was the literally total polar opposite. But I didn't know that after I had the surgery. So I had the surgery, and I tell people, and they're like, that don't make sense. But I got gastric bypass never to be skinny. Never to be skinny. I didn't get it to lose weight. I got gastric bypass because they were like, if you lose weight, it should take away your pseudotumor cerebri, to where your headaches, you won't have any more headaches and all that. This was May the 10th, 2010, when I had my gastric bypass surgery. I started the diet on October, I think it was October the 15th, 2009. October the 9th. Sorry, October the 9th, 2009 is when I started the diet. And then I got approved, did the 6-month diet, the liquid diet for the 2 weeks before surgery, and then it's supposed to be 2 weeks after surgery, but I did an extra week after because I don't like animal protein. But my doctor knew that with me going in, I don't like animal protein, and she's like, okay, look, gastric bypass is a protein surgery. Like, you have to have protein. You have to eat your protein. It's protein, protein, protein. Chew, chew, chew. Sip, sip, sip. And that was like drilled in my head. And with them knowing I don't like the smell, the taste, or the texture of animal protein. And I'm saying it like that because I don't like meat. But if I love beans and I love like green vegetables, so I know I can get the protein, and and it's also a double negative because I'm also lactose tolerant, and they're like, you need more calcium. Okay, well, after I had the surgery, my body wasn't absorbing the bariatric vitamins, and because I did a total of 5 weeks of just protein shakes, nothing but protein shakes. I was like, if somebody puts a protein shake in front of me, y'all better get my cell ready. Y'all, wherever y'all putting me, because I'm gonna kill the person. That's how I was about protein shakes, because I was on it for 5 weeks straight, like nothing else. It was just protein shakes, no solid foods, no puree. It was just that's all. And so I never wanted to see a protein shake after that. But I say all that to say, I didn't have pseudotumor cerebri because I was fat. I was fat because of pseudotumor cerebri. Well, not really fat. I was more swollen. Let me say that. I know pseudo is not fat, it's fluid, but I didn't know till after. So I got the surgery to get rid of the pseudotumor cerebri and to get pregnant. And then February 2013, they were like, oh yeah, well, your tubes are clogged. Or not clogged, but they're closed. And I'm like, what do you mean they're closed? I'm like, I don't know. Went in, tried to get the surgery to open up my tubes. One, they was like, we got one open, but the other one we couldn't get open. I'm like, okay, so like from age 18 to 29, is that why I never had a baby? Anyhow, so after that, the girls was born June, but I knew in November that, that I thought one baby. And we didn't find out till June that it was 2 babies, and then they were born June, like 3 days later. But, and then July 2015, so me being big wasn't the reason why I wasn't getting pregnant. And then in July of 2015, I had to get a BP shunt. So the gastric bypass, if I could go back and not do it, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have got it. And I say that because also in June of 2015, and maybe a little bit before that, I'm gonna say May. No, it was June. It was June-ish, yeah. So also found out that I shouldn't have got the gastric bypass. Why, you say? Because my natural blood disorder that I have, that I was born with, also makes it hard for me to absorb nutrients and vitamins. And I knew that I had it. I've been knowing that I had it like my whole life, like I was born with it. But I didn't know, because I'm not supposed to have any symptoms, because I just have sickle cell trait. So I'm not supposed to have any problems with absorbing. Like, it's just supposed to be, yeah, some of your cells are normal, some of them are not. Well, my non-normal cells are like, okay, so we in charge, and we're gonna act like you don't have just half the disease. We're gonna treat you like you got the full thing. So I am very weather sensitive. I don't absorb vitamins. And so me getting a surgery that makes it hard for you to absorb vitamins and nutrients mixed with your natural body being hard to absorb vitamins and nutrients was a lose-lose situation. So I got the gastric bypass to get rid of my pseudotumor cerebri. I still end up having to get brain surgery, but it's supposed to be one, but it's into two. And I got gastric bypass to be able to get pregnant, and then found out, oh, well, the reason why you wasn't getting pregnant is because your tubes were closed. And we got one open, but still never had a baby. So, would I get gastric bypass if I could redo it? No, because I didn't get it done to lose weight. I got it done to have a baby. I got it done to get rid of my pseudotumor cerebri. And in 2025, I still had the pseudotumor cerebri with the complications of the brain surgery. And in 2025, still never been pregnant. So I wouldn't have got it because I didn't get the surgery to lose weight, to be skinny. Because before the gastric bypass, I literally was just on water pills. And it wasn't, it was because of my head. It was because of the water retention. But literally, that was the only medicine I was on. Literally before I had gastric bypass. I only was taking water pills for the pseudotumor cerebri. After the surgery, I now am taking medicine for thyroid. I have the BP shunt, and I'm now taking medicine because I can't sleep. So I have extreme insomnia, and I have to now take vitamin D. I can't take calcium pills because my body doesn't absorb it, so it just sits on my stomach for 3 days, and then I just poop out the whole pill. I'm on more medicine after surgery than I was. I was more unhealthy when I was at like 240 pounds. I was like, I think the smallest that I got was like 230 pounds. And as soon as I got under 250, my blood pressure did not go above 90. So my normal resting blood pressure when I was under the 250 was like 90 over 60. I felt like if I stood up. Like I felt horrible. I felt worse. And like my normal blood pressure before, like when I was in the high 3s, almost 4, my blood pressure was like 100 over 70. So I never had high cholesterol. I never had high blood pressure. My pulse, like, yeah. And they're like, oh, well, that's because you're young. And it's like, okay, yeah. But also, I wasn't unhealthy. Like, my biggest health problem was my pseudotumor cerebri, which got worse after the gastric bypass. Because I was like, I don't want brain surgery. I don't want anybody to touch my brain. And what made me change that was the simple fact. It's like, okay, I got 2 18-month-old babies. Or they might not have been 18 months. No, because that would have been December. Sorry. I was like, well, okay, what it was is, okay, my headaches came, which when they came, it was 3 months straight. And I'm like, okay, I can't be down for 3 months. Because it's not like, oh, off and on for 3 months. It's like, no, from like day one, I know that the next 85-ish, if not 95-ish days, I'm going to have a headache. every single day. Every single day. And it was like, on day one when it happened, I know I at least 3 months, I'm not going to have any relief until it goes away. And it wasn't seasonal. Whenever it happens, it happens. And at that point, my body, like, I was on the second round of it rejecting, because at first it was water pills, then my body started reacting to water pills, and I was like spinal taps, then my body started reacting to spinal taps, so I went back to water pills, then my body stopped reacting to the water pills, went back to spinal tap, stopped reacting to that, and I'm like, okay, I can't keep going around in this circle because my kids are almost 2. So the doctor was like, oh, I can get you in on June the 15th. And I said, no. I said, I was like, I can do it after June the 28th. And, like, in my reasoning at that time was, I don't want my kids I don't want to die before my kids turn 2. In my head, I don't want them to be like, well, my mom died before I was 2. I know. It's like, it's traumatizing. If your mama dies after you're 2, like, that's still going to be traumatizing. But in my head, I was like, not before their 2nd birthday. And I'm so glad I fought that, because of the complications that I had. Because when I had the brain surgery on July the 1st, I literally did not get out of bed and walk, like, I mean, I got out of the bed, like, I could get up, but the only time that I literally was out of my bed is if I was getting up to go to a doctor's appointment. Other than that, I literally was in bed until September. And while I was in bed, a very, very dear friend, you know, I would say a mine, but she was an aunt. And not like a biological aunt, and she grew up. She was, you know, a very dear friend to my mama, and, like, I called her aunt, and, you know, loved her. Nothing less than her being my aunt. But it was like a hood auntie. But, like, and I say that, like, only because, like, we lived in the projects, but anyways, love her. And while I was recovering from the double brain surgery, she died. And I didn't find out, and she died, like, I think, like, the 2nd week of July. Thanks. Or even the 1st week of July. And then I didn't find out that she died until September, when I got out of bed. And I called my mama, and my mama was like, oh, I want to tell you that such and such died. And I was like, why didn't anybody tell me? She goes, well, I left you a message. I was like, Mama, this is like the first time that I'm actually sitting up and not about to go somewhere. Like, so I didn't find out till September that she died in July. So I didn't get to go to the funeral because, like I said, the only time I was not laying down in bed was when I was going to the doctor. But, like, I never was just up, just sitting, because I was in so much pain that I just was asleep. But I'm so glad that I didn't do it before they turned 2, because I would have never got to celebrate their birthday, because I would have been in bed. Because if I had the surgery on June the 15th, their birthday is the 28th, I would not have been able to celebrate their birthday. And I'm so glad that, because I mean, part of me thinks, well, I've had the complications on the 15th the way that I did when I got it on July the 1st, or it would have been better. Same surgeon, but like that's always like was in my head. Should I got it? Cause I don't know what happened. All I know is I had really bad complications, and I'm living with them complications. Have to. Ain't got no choice. But yeah, so I'm glad I didn't get it on the 15th, only because I would not have got to celebrate the girl's second birthday. But yeah, so if I could go back, I would not have got gastric bypass. Only for the simple fact that my body naturally does not absorb nutrients and vitamins, and maybe that's why I never really had any serious problems with the sickle cell trait, because it was just that. And since half of my body's healthy and the other half is not, or blood cells, red blood cells, since half is healthy, half is not, maybe it was keeping it in balance. But then when I got something that knocked it more off balance, that's why I'm having the major complications that I'm having. Because instead of it being 1-to-1, now it's 2-to-1. But I didn't know until after I already had it for years. And it was like literally, I didn't know that, oh, this also prevents me from absorbing nutrients and vitamins. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense why I feel like like with the iron levels, it wasn't until I went to that doctor that he was like, okay, well, I put you on iron pills. Took them, and I'm like, I don't like bacon. I can't take these. I would rather be anemic. I don't like bacon. Like, I would rather be laying here halfway dead to have to taste bacon, because I don't like bacon. And he goes, oh, well, okay, well, we will do infusions, because what that is your body's like, yeah, I don't like iron pills. Don't like the liquid. I will not let you have that in your body. And to let you know that it's not okay to have it in your body, I'm going to make you taste the one, like if it tasted like broccoli, it still would be gross, but at least I do like broccoli, but I don't like bacon. Like, I don't like the smell of it, I don't like the taste of it, I don't like bacon. And so when that happened, everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's so lucky. No, it's lucky if you like smoked bacon, but if you don't like smoked bacon, it's a curse. It's a curse.